Ooh, good evening. Today is December. What is today? Today is December 30th. 30 days of the 31-day challenge of posting videos. We are nearing the end of the month, end of the year. Today was supposed to be my radiation therapy, or so I thought, but it was more conversation about what it would be like and what's necessary after, in terms of the aftercare for the removal of a small cancerous lump in my breast the day before Thanksgiving. 2 weeks or so after that, I had more material removed from the surrounding area to see if that was cancerous, and it was not. However, I still have to consider radiation therapy, and there's an oral medication that I have to take as well, and or the oral medication plus the injections every 3 weeks for up to a year to decrease the HER2 that is in my body that was feeding, although a small cancerous lump, it was feeding it. And so the decrease for that is necessary so that there's no reoccurrence of cancer in my body. And I didn't realize how stressed out I was. I didn't sleep much last night. I thought I did. I thought I could. It's just something I could easily handle because I didn't think that my appointment would be very long anyway. So I could kind of ease into it in kind of a restful space. But my stomach was bubbling this morning, and it's still kind of doing it. And now finding out that that second surgery, the radiologist would like to wait a little bit because technically if I had the surgery on the 9th, he would like for there to have been a 4 to 5 week period where I've healed, although he is okay with what it looks like. He wants to have some more time before that. So I won't be ending the year starting the radiation therapy. It will be a 3 week or so process, rather really 15 days because the weekends is the break, and the 5 whole days during the week for the three following weeks would be 15 days of radiation therapy. It's probably anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, but it's said that it's much easier to do it a little bit at a time, but consistently. So it's going to be every day, and about 3 to 5 minutes on that breast, the right breast that had the lump, and it will then probably simultaneously, maybe followed with the oncologist who wants the oral medication. And I was already pretty okay with settling for that oral medication because I had a choice. And this person, although that's not his he's not the expert in that. I was telling him anyway, and he suggested that I do the oral medication and the injection. And I'm like, oh gosh, I just made a decision. Now my mind is flip flopping back and forth all over again. So when I do speak with the oncologist who was giving me this time to make my decision, now I'm going to have to ask him again. The decision I made, is that good for you or to you, or do you think that I should add the injection? And I don't think he would have given me a choice if it was supposed to be one way or the other. If it was one way, adamantly one way, then I would have had no other choice other than just saying, hey, I don't want to do this at all, which I don't want to do that. I want to be here for a while, and I'm pretty vibrant and healthy for my age. And even the results of the bone density test came back in, and sometimes my thoughts are not always in the best place. I always think of the worst first, and I wanted to know if he could give me a reading on what the bone density test was. And he actually said it's pretty good. And I said, is it pretty good for somebody my age or pretty good in general? He goes, both. And I was very surprised and I'm very happy. And I want to build on those thoughts. And again, regardless of whether someone tells me something on the outside, on the inside, I need to affirm for myself positively that regardless of what is going on, no matter what, and it's different for everyone, so I'm not trying to prescribe anything for anybody, but just think about it a little bit. I can only control what I can control. The reason and the reasons I'm going to the doctors, because the different doctors that I've had to go to since and the surgeon since mid November, is because there's a level of expertise that you have in terms of helping people heal themselves or come back to wholeness. And that's the part you're in control of, and what goes on within my mind and my body and my heart and my own words. That's the part I can control. So it's not a living in denial on my part anyway. It's just adding to the checklist of health, and I have to be in a space where I don't always come from the negative first. And sometimes, like I said, that's kind of easy to slide into based on habit, and I don't want it to be that way anymore. I've had experiences where I've been able to, and not from a false front, but a like, wow, look at how I'm living within front in the past. And I'm talking about the past eons ago, more than 10 years ago. I've had practice with this. And it worked, and I forget it sometimes. And I just said, what would it hurt to bring it back? This is how I rebuild within me a firm, positive, loving foundation in terms of how to take care of myself. And positive affirmations are a part of that. And I say positive because we can affirm anything, anytime. And very often when we're affirming, we don't even realize sometimes we're saying negative things about ourselves. And you can build on that too. And really not you really don't know where those words and those thoughts can take you. This may be an amateur view or an amateur experience with this. However, I know what my personal experiences are, dumping on myself or doubting myself and seeing the fruit from that. And I've seen it where the fruit from positive affirmations, it does something to build a whole lot, from your body confidence to your mental confidence to being able to smile your way through stuff to being able to let things roll off your back. And I just sometimes want to know on a personal level, why do I sometimes forget that I have the power to do that? So imagine a surgeon or a doctor's expertise in terms of your health combined with the strength that you have within to build yourself to a place where it's not that you can't be taken down or out by things, but at the same time, you can build on what you have, kind of eradicate or get rid of the weeds within, work on that, understand why you have those quote unquote mental weeds, and break those down and know that we all deserve to live from a place of strength, love, peace, positivity, and any and every positive word you can think of, without being repetitive. But then again, sometimes those things are tried and true because they're real. If that makes any sense. But yeah, so I've been dozing off most of the day. The intention was when it was still light outside, because I had an early appointment, and I got back here a little afternoon, was to do a really short video. I don't even know how long this one is. This is right off the top of my head. I don't believe that I'm really concerned with the time right now. I just want to hit every point that I possibly can and make some firm mental decisions to stop worrying myself and do what I need to do. And if it helps anybody, I appreciate that it can. I would actually be appreciative if there's a like and a subscribe, but really more the conversation, and really more the conversation, because sometimes when you're doing this, you feel like you're just talking to a screen, which is helpful sometimes. Like I said, I found a mini form of therapy with recording myself on my phone during the summer, just getting stuff out. And this is way before I knew that I had cancer in my breast, anything. And it was just talking things out, which I normally do anyway, especially on walks. But sometimes it looks kind of cuckoo. And most people look like they're talking to someone when they're on the phone. So I had my phone out and it looked like I was talking to someone, but I was just making statements, questioning things, and it was very helpful. This is a step up in a different direction, obviously. The other way, you're not really looking for people to like it or whatever. You're just getting stuff out and then maybe playing it back to hear things that you may not have thought you were going to talk about. It may bring up certain topics that you need to explore, and that's a personal thing. This is personal too, but again, putting it out there it's voicing your concern and seeing also if there are people who resonate with the information and have something to say that might be helpful to me as much as I'm helpful, if I am helpful to anyone. It's just to invite a conversation. That's all. Especially with people who understand and who get it. Heck, I had a driver this morning because I was running a little late, but I got there on time. I had a Lyft driver today talking about asking me where I was going, and the story ended up, and it was a 15-minute ride. Story ended up with him telling me about his mother-in-law who went through something similar, and the radiation part. Did she go through that? Yeah, he said she went through it, but he was kind of surprised that when I was gonna have mine, which I thought would be today, but it wasn't. Why it was so many days, even though for a short period of time. And he said, yeah, that might have been good for her because she got sick afterwards, which was interesting because it was a concern of mine. But because, it's a possibility, but it's less of a possibility because it's spread out daily, small portions of the radiation and a shorter period of time in that session. So I'm grateful. I mean, I didn't know I was going to have that conversation. I even said that to him. I had the intention of getting into his car to listen to a podcast and keep it quiet. Quiet just meaning not really having a conversation. And I'm grateful that it did. That was a blessing. I appreciated that because in that sense, even though he's an outsider, he's still a family member who was experiencing this bout of cancer with his wife, the rest of his family, and his mother-in-law. And his mother-in-law is the one that went through it. I appreciated having that conversation. You never know. So I even see doing this in an even greater way. I don't know what will happen after my 31st day. Again, my challenge was just to use my voice to just have conversation. And it just so happened that it included the breast cancer because it had just happened. And I didn't know what I would talk about. So I didn't start out doing that in the beginning. A few days afterwards, I became a little bit more comfortable. Not so comfortable to not put my face on camera. But the fact is, I'm still using my voice, and I don't know what this will turn into. I really ended up enjoying doing this, and I know I'm going longer. I can't even see the time. I'm just speaking, and I don't want to be too all over the place, but I really actually enjoyed doing this. I really don't know what will come of it afterwards. I'm sure I'll come up with another challenge and then see where things lie after that. Maybe it will be the positive affirmations that I stated in another video that I was intending to start this channel with. I'm not really sure. I'll probably take a day or two a break after the first, but I'm so on board with coming on and doing something in the shortest form possible that I think by the time January 1st rolls around, I will feel like, I'm missing something. I'm not addicted to having to be on here. I just found myself with one of few challenges that I posted up there for myself in my life that I'm actually completing, and I'm actually pleased with the fact that I've been able to do it. And like I said, I don't know what will come from this. I don't know what the next thing will be. Maybe I will still talk about this. Um, we'll see what happens. And whoever's been listening, thank you. Um, have a peaceful end of the new year, because we know sometimes we go into a new year and hear about some other things going on out there in the world, as if we need any more negativity or violence. Have the best, most peaceful, quiet new year. And I'll probably repeat this again tomorrow, because tomorrow is actually the end, 31st day of the challenge. Have an awesome, quiet December 30th, December 31st, and popping into the new year, and even better one than we've had last year for so many reasons, on the health front, on the activists front, on the protesting front. Um, um, every front I can possibly think of, and just can't get the words out right now. But mainly our health, peace and equality, people seeing people, period, and for who they are and respecting them on every level. Um, especially Black Lives Matter, especially LGBT community. And people's health, for God's sake. There are people who out there who can't even afford to have themselves taken care of well. I'm giving thanks for the insurance that I have. That has been very helpful. People are out of work. There are people who I can't imagine. I have been there before. This is not new, especially in communities of color and Black communities. It is not new, but you always do the best you can. And nobody's asking for handouts. We just want to do the best we can out here. And I'm I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. It's going to take work, but it shouldn't be harder for some people to do as opposed to others. It should be equal. And the older we get out here, some respect there too. The older we get, we need to love more. I think that's the clue. But sometimes you don't know that until you really do it with ourselves, us. So, with that said, a nice, quiet end of the year ending, and a really light, blossoming, bright future for all of us for 2021. Because I'm sure when we rolled into 2020, I was just saying this today, we didn't have a clue what it would be like. It's given us the opportunity to not take certain things for granted, and really be grateful for what you already had, because you really don't know that when you do that, you don't know what more great stuff will come after that. And sometimes we complain, even if it's just personal complaining instead of things out there. Personal complaining. I don't want to do that anymore. I would rather think really hard about how to make things better, and it starts with me. And that's where my head is at right now, because I can only bring the best me to any place. But I don't want to be hurt, and I don't want to be taken advantage of. And I just want to be my best self, even at this age. That's my declaration for the end of the year going into the new one. And quite frankly, time and what the year is going to be about shouldn't even matter. It actually should be what we do in every moment of every day, because it's an opportunity and a lesson everywhere. And yeah, I'm going to stop. I'm grateful if you watched. And those who did watch, thank you for seeing me through with this challenge. Again, I don't know what it's going to turn into, but I'm grateful to have started. Have a great evening and an even greater tomorrow, December 31st, New Year's Eve.